Hey guys, Robert the Realist back today with another podcast, and we have a special guest with us. We have a couple special guests, but one of them's off video and she's preoccupied. But we have a co-host, Maddison.
Hello.
And then we have the marketing guru, Gia.
Hello.
And then, as you guys know, here lately we've been fortunate enough to have people come on here and talk about their testimonies, and we've gotten testimonies about people changing their lives by listening to the podcast one at a time. That's what I do everything for, is one at a time. So I've got my great friend Andie Jamerson here today, and I know that she's had I think I call it a wild life, but I don't know if that's we could go really good or bad with that, but just a good life. And I think it's important for people all walks of life to be on here if we can get them, male, female, older, younger, that way you kind of connect with probably a different person than I would, or a different person than Maddison or Gia or anybody like that. So I know that she's been around. She's been in the military. She's been traveled with her family. And so I wanted to get to know a little bit about her. So I think we'll start with when Andie got baptized.
Okay. So when Andie got baptized is like the title of a segment that's kind of really long, right? Okay. There's 3 different parts of it.
Yeah.
So my dad was Lutheran, right? So my dad is from Wisconsin, and my mom is from Georgia. So if I say words weird one way or another, it's because I grew up with 2 very strong, very different accents in my home. Okay, but I digress. So my dad was Lutheran, right? And so I was born in Germany. And when I was born, I was sprinkled, right, as a baby, like they do. And then we lived in Hawaii for a couple of years. My dad was military. So when we were there, way back in the 1900s, they did not, all right, kids, I'm talking to you. They didn't have apps on the TV, right? Where you could just remote, like you could choose anything that you want to watch right now. They didn't have that. They didn't even have remotes. You had to like turn this little dial on this big box.
Had to get up and turn it.
That's right. We were the remote. And there were no shows for kids on TV unless it was Saturday morning. So we listened to the radio. Like, I'm real old now. We listened to the radio, and I remember there was this show on the radio. It was a kids show, and so it was a guy who would like read, Bible stories or different things for little kids. It was a Christian kids show, and he was talking one day about how great it is to have Jesus in your life and in your heart. And so he led through the steps of accepting Jesus Christ into your heart, but then also what that means, because you can say it all day long, but if you don't live it, right? So he kind of went through like what that means for a kid, and I was like, yeah, I'm all about this. And so I prayed with him on this radio show, and then talked to my mom about it, and it was a great thing. I was like 4, and then we moved back to Wisconsin from Hawaii, which, if you've ever moved from Hawaii to Wisconsin, it was brutal. It
doesn't even make sense.
Right? Like, why would you do that?
Torture.
Thanks, Army. But so we got back to Wisconsin, and I was baptized in Wisconsin. I was about 6 or 7, right? 6 or 7. And then a few years later, we moved to Georgia. And then from there, we moved to the Panama Canal Zone. And so I was like an early teenager in my formative years living in the Panama Canal Zone. And I was a part of this really great youth group there. And we went on a trip one summer. We got on this big boat. And when I say big boat, like you don't send little boats through the Panama Canal, right? It's a big boat. It was actually called Logos. And so what it was like this library boat, like a Christian library boat. And it would travel the world, and it had like Bibles and other Christian literature in different languages. And so we kind of hitched a ride on this Logos boat to an island out somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. And that's where this youth camp was. We spent a couple of days there, like, singing and praying and praising. And it's like, that had been my whole life up to this point already. But it became real, like, this is actually like mine, right? This isn't my parents at church, and I catch some of it, right? And this isn't the adults are talking and the kids are just there. This was like for the teenagers, and it made it real, like in my life. And I was like, man, like I've lived this way, and now I want to show like my friends, like this change in my life. Like I'm really going to grasp onto this and not only live this way, but share it with other people. And so I was baptized then as a 13-year-old in the Panama Canal Zone, somewhere out in the Pacific Ocean.
Cool. Yeah. That is pretty cool. I don't know anybody that's ever said that before, that they got baptized in the Panama Canal. So let's go from there. So now we're baptized, and we're in the Panama Canal Zone.
Right.
What's the next big step or journey in your life after that you can remember? Because I know it's been a couple of years ago.
It's been a couple of years. Yeah. I mean, I was 13. It was still the 1900s.
Still 1900s.
Right.
Still 1900s.
I'm a little
correct.
ancient. So a few years later, we moved to Arizona. We were there for a little bit. And we moved to Georgia again and then back to Arizona. So it was my senior year.
That was all military.
All military.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad was Army. So he retired my senior year in Arizona. So I graduated high school. We didn't move anywhere.
Yeah.
Like we had moved almost every summer. Weird? It was weird. It was so weird. Like I had been in 13 different schools by the time I graduated.
Oh my.
So then when it's like, what do you mean we're not moving?
Yeah.
What do I do?
It's time.
Yeah. So I actually went to Hawaii again that summer. I had a cousin that still lived there. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. When I was there as a 4, 5, 6-year-old, my cousin graduated high school, and she came to visit us as her graduation present. She never left. She met a boy, she moved to Hawaii, and she was still there when I graduated high school. So as a gift, my parents sent me to Hawaii. That was my grad gift, and I stayed with her for a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and so then, my trip to Hawaii is over. I come back to Arizona, still there. Like,
where do I go now?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
All my friends are going off to college, and I don't know. College was like, okay, cool, but like it wasn't an adventure, right? And so this is not a part of my life that a whole lot of people know, so brace yourselves. I decided that I wanted to be a flight attendant.
Yeah.
And I went to flight attendant school in Phoenix.
Oh, wow. Yeah, didn't know that one. Okay.
Right?
That's so cool.
So I get there, and they have like their training and all the things, right? And they only accepted like 12 people out of this class of like 200. Wow. And they accepted me. But then to go on to the next level of flight attendant school, I had to wait until January. And this was August. No, this was July. I did not want to wait until January. I'm like, what am I going to do until then?
So I'm not good at being still.
No.
Yeah.
And so then I got home, and an Army recruiter had left a message on my answering machine.
Yeah,
because
there it
again,
is.
1900s.
Yeah.
Right.
Seen it flashing.
So, yeah, and I'm like, ooh, there's a message, right? And so it was the Army recruiter. And he's like, hey, based on your scores, we could, send you to the Bikini Atoll, which is this little tiny island outside of Hawaii.
The what?
The Bikini Atoll.
Okay, I thought you just cussed her.
Yeah, I know. I didn't say bad words. So I'm like, yeah, cool, because I was going to be a broadcast journalist. I'm like, that sounds awesome. Let's do this.
So you went from flight attendant
to broadcast journalism.
All right,
It gets
On a tiny
Okay.
island.
right,
On a tiny island.
right, and it was going to be so awesome.
Yeah,
but I was
okay.
going to have to be there for 2 years, and I'm like, I don't know if I can commit like
2
2
years,
years,
yeah.
right? Like that's a
Jittery
long
just
time,
thinking about it.
right? And so then I was like, what if I just joined the reserves instead of full-time Army? He's like, well, we could get you into medical school, right? Based on your test scores, whatever. We'll send you to San Antonio. 1.5 years. I'm like, done. When can I leave?
Wow.
So then I decided to go to basically med school, or pre-med, right? Like it was 91 Bravo at the time, which probably doesn't even exist anymore, but it was field medic. So I went to basic training in Leonard Wood. I went down to San Antonio. I took all the classes to be a field medic, carried my little 9mm, like all the things, right? And then from there went on to lab tech school. So that was through the George Washington University. So it's like laboratory science, laboratory technology,
So she's
all
smart.
of those things.
She's smart.
Right. And so that's what I did. And so I was in the reserves, but I was still active duty for like 2 years just for school. So from there I went to Fort Benning, and then my active duty time was over and came to Moberly. So
back to flight attendant school. I know that your story's greater than the flight attendant school, but I just had a question when it came in. It's like, so what happens at flight attendant school?
Yeah, that is a,
So,
that's a good question.
I kind of had to wait until January, I think, to
So what
find
did you
out
do?
that-
Oh, so you didn't, I thought you went to like level 1 flight attendant.
yeah, it was like basically the testing and
Okay.
the personality exams and
Okay.
the stress tests. Like, can you handle
That's-
being on a flight?
okay.
Like all of those types of things. Like the preliminary, like you have to pass these to even be considered for this school.
Oh, so you didn't get to like get on the airplane, practice unruly passengers,
No.
carrying drinks, not. I mean, I wouldn't want to do their job. I just didn't know what flight attendant school would look like.
She's a
so.
fast-paced woman.
Right. I wanted
She
to see
is.
the world.
Yeah.
And I figured what other way to do that besides be on an airplane, right?
Yeah.
Go to different spots.
That is true.
I mean,
That
I
is very
see them
true.
and I envy it, and I'm like, it's cool you're going here and then you're going here, but then I
Yeah.
you got to deal with that guy and you got to deal with that
Then I
girl.
remember flight attendants do not get as much flexibility or time to be able to see everything like the more advanced flight attendants.
Yeah, they
You know
don't
what I
like their
mean?
jobs either, but that's beside the point.
No. Not until you're older and have been in it for 20 plus years, and then you literally have the choice to pick any flight you want and go anywhere you want for any extended time you want, and you just work the flight there. But then you can have a full-on vacation and work the flight back for free.
Well, also
Went off the rails a little bit right there.
still 1900s.
Still
Right.
1900s, yeah.
So there was no 9/11.
Right.
There were no rules in place for anything.
Well, it was
basically, right?
they're
You
probably
just-
still smoking.
Yeah, you just got on a plane and you went wherever you wanted to. You gave the lady some money and you
It was
got
a
on.
luxury, yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. So you're in Moberly.
Mm-hmm.
What part of your life next happens in Moberly that we want to talk about?
So I was married and I had Tristan, my oldest, who was going to be 27
Mm-hmm. Great guy.
next year. Oh,
Great guy.
It's crazy. He is
Yeah.
a great guy.
He is a great guy.
Yeah, he's
He
a good
is.
dude.
Yeah, and
I like him a lot.
have one that's 31. So yeah, I'd keep him
Yeah.
if I were you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've tried to return mine. It doesn't work. So
Pretty sure my parents have too.
no refunds.
Right.
Great kid though. Great kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
All your kids are.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So I worked at Moberly Hospital, lab tech, all that fun stuff.
Did they let you carry your 9mm?
They did not.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think they would have noticed, but
Right.
but I didn't.
Because we're still in the 1900s.
We're still in the
right?
1900s,
Okay. You can
yeah.
carry 9mm in the hospital in 1900s.
Right. I mean, you could do all the things.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
So yeah, this was 1999. I had Tristan. A couple years later, I had Emma, and then, I don't know. I decided to stay home for a while, and then what year would that have been? 03, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
03.
Oh, here we go.
The global war on terror started in
Oh.
03. The
Never mind.
GWAT, right? So it was Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom and all the things, and there were big deployments again. And by that time, I was almost out of the military. I still went, 1 weekend a month. I was in the reserves. It was all good. And then when you're done with your 6 years, you transfer into what they call the IRR. So you're in the individual ready reserves. You don't really do anything. It's just in case they need you for a couple more years. You're on call, basically, but you don't have to do anything. Well, I got caught up in that stop loss. They didn't let anybody go into the IRR because there was a war going on, and I got deployed. So my husband at the time, he was also deployed, and we had 2 really small kids. And so they went to stay with my parents in Arizona, and we went to war. And so in 03, I've got, Emma was almost 2, Tristan was almost 4, missed both of their birthdays, Mother's Day, my birthday, all of the kind of big things. Okay, but still not quite 1900s, but early 2000s.
Yeah.
No cell phones. No FaceTime, no computers, barely email, right? So I was in Germany. So I was actually deployed what they call downrange. I was supposed to go to Iraq. Germany is the stop-off spot. That's where the big hospital is. And so got to Germany, and they were like, actually, we don't need you to go down to Iraq. We're sending this whole hospital unit together. We need you to backfill this hospital unit. So I stayed in Germany the whole time. And I was kind of in charge of the phlebotomy room and the laboratory. And so I'm just, I'm an E5, I'm a young mom, I was 24, I'm away from my kids, and it was just oh,
Thank you, Jamie.
yeah. I'd do it again if I could.
Yeah.
But the only way to keep in contact with them was to, make phone calls. And for them to be awake in the middle of the day, I had to wait until about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, find the little payphone in the hallway where there's a line of soldiers because the time difference, we're all
Right.
trying to call home
Right.
to our kids while they are awake. And so every couple of days I would be able to get on the phone and talk to them a little bit. And so they heard my voice, but they didn't see my face the whole time I was gone. And so My mom was real great about sending mail. She would take pictures and, take them on her camera, take them to the store, take the film in, get them developed, and she would mail them. So I would get like these pictures in the mail of the kids doing all this fun stuff, right? And so that was awesome. But then when soldiers who were actually downrange in the war, when they would be injured, they would get on the helicopters, right? They would load them up on the litters in the helicopters, and they would come to the hospital that I worked at. So it was Landstuhl Medical Center in Germany, and that is the only point. So from downrange, they have to fly there to be stabilized to then come over to the United States to go to DC and Walter Reed Medical Center. You can't go directly from the Middle East to the United States. Like you have to stop off there. That is such a long trip. I don't know gas logistics, right? I don't know fuel in planes. I don't know if they could have made that far, but I know that the patients most likely could not. So they would stop in Germany and be treated, if possible, good enough to at least make it to the United States and then be flown over. And so when you were on litter duty, which you had to do once a week, you were pulling soldiers off of these helicopters. And most of them were pretty badly wounded if they had made it there in the first place. And a lot of them did not make the flight. So we were carrying body bags off of the helicopters, but also soldiers who just needed to get into the hospital. So that as a 24-year-old is a lot, right? And now I've lived twice that life now, right? Like that was more than half my lifetime ago, which is crazy. And it feels like a whole different life. It was a whole different lifetime ago. But if I didn't have Jesus and if I didn't have the peace of God in my life in that time, oh my goodness, there's no way even now that I would be able to process that trauma, right? So I'm away from home. I'm away from my kids. I'm seeing this trauma day in, day out, like all of these things. I don't know how people do that without Jesus. I couldn't ever imagine.
That was my question, because it made me anxious listening to you talk about 24. No FaceTime, no kids. Or then, just to top it off, you had to be in the part of the litter, is that what you call it? Or the soldiers and the wounded and the dead. And at 24.
Right. Yeah.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That to me is like, okay, so now we see retired military kids, mid-20s, that come back are just lost. From that type of stuff that can't handle it. So, you brought up Jesus, because that was going to be my next question is, you're still a believer, obviously, probably more, if there is a way, to lean on him during that. Do you think that if Jesus was more present in people's lives in the military, that they would maybe come out and be, I don't want to say like better, but I know, man, they just really
less trauma and
less trauma.
PTSD and
for sure.
Would they really have something? Could their life be different if that was?
I
If
think
they found
so.
Jesus?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Military chaplains have got their job cut out for them.
Oh
for sure.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I thank you for your service for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud to do it.
But that's that I tell people all the time. I didn't serve in the military. I'm not man or woman enough to do it. I couldn't.
When you were like, we just both went to war, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, and so my brother was deployed at the same time.
My
So
goodness.
my
Your
mom,
Military family.
right? Yes.
Goodness,
And
Mom.
so my mom had to have a flag specially ordered. They do the flags as the white flags with a star on it when you have children deployed, or when you have a spouse deployed, or something like that. And my mom had to special order one with 3 stars on it.
Oh wow. How'd mom do during that?
Mom.
Oh man, because I look back now and I'm like, my mom would have been about the age I am now, a little bit younger, right? Like taking on a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old.
That makes me even more anxious.
While 2 of her kids are at war, right? Like,
What a strong
mom
lady.
is the hero, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
for
for
sure.
real.
My parents are the heroes, big time.
That's for real. Yeah. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even. I'd have to be like kicking and screaming to get me to go to war.
Started off, I've always been in church, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Mom and Dad.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, they're
that's-
my heroes for sure.
That's pretty wild. So we've been baptized at the Panama Canal. We've moved around. We've wanted to be a flight attendant. Ended up in the military. Went to the hospital. Went to Germany. Should have went to. So do you think if you went, do you call it downrange?
Yeah.
if you went downrange, would you have been on the front line, or would you have been medical?
No,
type?
I would have been back in a medical tent
Okay.
somewhere. I wouldn't have seen any kind of combat.
Okay.
I mean, unless they brought it to us, right? I wouldn't have
Right.
gone
Right.
out
Well,
to see
still,
combat.
though, you signed up for it,
But-
and that's a lot. That's
Right.
That's it's still, to me, it's
We're still early 2000s at this point. Like, girls are not on the front line.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's I
it
wondered.
wasn't
Yeah,
a thing.
that's that was not a thing at
No.
this point.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so we get through that, right? Obviously, we survived that. We make it back home.
The worst part, I'm going to tell you, the worst part of the whole deployment was when I came back home, going to my parents' house to pick up the kids. They didn't know we were coming. It was a big surprise, right? Like, ring the doorbell, the door opens, and there's Emma at 2 years old. And she just looks up at me like, okay, somebody's at the door. She went, like, walked back in, and I was like she did not know who I was. She didn't recognize me. And so I got down on my knees, and I was like, Emma, like, it's mommy. And she recognized my voice because we had called home so much.
Yeah.
But she didn't know my face anymore. And
That's
so then
crazy.
she was just, and big hugs, and she didn't leave my side for, the next 30 years. But
It's that one moment you're like, darn it.
no, I love my girl. But yeah, so that heartbreak right there, I was like, okay, nope, I'm out. Had I stayed in, okay, I'm really old. Had I stayed in, I would have retired 10 years ago.
I don't like when you say you're really old because we're the same age.
You're a little bit younger, right? I got you by a
Couple months.
so we're
Yeah. That's
good.
what I do with my wife. I got her by a month, and that month,
He says I milk that
living
month.
it up.
Right.
That
Man, you're
month. That month.
Really?
I know.
49?
Like, that math don't math.
Yeah.
I'm not that
48.
old.
Yeah. 47.
Mindy doesn't
I'll be
look a day over
48.
20. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, so at that point, I went ahead and got out, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
that was it. That was it.
So you can fast forward as far as you want, but Jesus is still part of your life. And I know that today that you have your nonprofit, which is Christian based for the most part, right? And then you're helping kick off Redeemer Church and be a part of that, right? And
Sure.
part of the school, Citadel. And so all those things have to do with Jesus, and which is super cool. I love that you guys are doing that. Talk about Redeemer. Let's talk about Redeemer. Like when you were part of Redeemer, how did that come about?
Okay. So you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready.
So there was a lot of life that happened between, 2003 and let's say 2017. That was when Redeemer Church became a thing, was in 2017. I was attending Forum in Columbia, Ben and I. So we had Gracie by then, and I was pregnant with Finley. And so Gracie was like a year and a half-ish, and I was getting ready to have Finley. And we couldn't really get plugged in. Driving to Columbia, Ben was working in Hannibal at the time, so he's driving one way. I'm trying to stay home with brand new baby. I'm pregnant with another baby. And almost 40, right? Right. Life started over. It was really hard to be connected in the community in Columbia with the church that we attended. And so then I saw, on the billboard that they were having this new church was starting. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, yeah, have you guys ever thought about trying out the Redeemer Church, that new church? There's a lot of people from other area churches that have started going there. And I was like, well, we looked at it. We just haven't had a chance. I wasn't feeling great. I was right at the end of my pregnancy. It was hot. This was like July, August-ish, right? So we hadn't really done much. But I decided, okay, I'm going to reach out to a friend of mine who I know goes to Redeemer Church. She was part of the core team, started the church, all this stuff. I texted her. I'm like, hey, Linz, tell me about Redeemer Church. So she's like, oh, it's great. You're going to love it. We're actually starting to meet at the 4th Street Theater instead of the auditorium. Like, come check us out. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do that. We're going to go to church on Sunday. Thursday, she calls me back, and she's like, hey, I know this is kind of short notice, and I know you don't actually go to Redeemer Church yet, but we are providing the bereavement dinner for a gentleman who recently passed away. And we need more people to bring some food. So we're going to do this at First Baptist, but we need people to bring food. Can you bring 6 pies? I'm like, yeah.
You just rip them
I
things
can
up.
totally do 6 pies right now, right? And so I told Ben, I was like, yeah, I'm going to make all these pies for this dinner for church. He's like, what church? I'm like, the church we're going to start going to. So we hadn't even gone there yet, right? But I knew that a lot of my friends did. And so we got all these pies made, all these different desserts, showed up on Saturday, and several other people that I knew were like bringing stuff in. So Heather Garrett, right? She's like got all these like containers of food, and she's bringing them in to a different church. So, like it was at First Baptist. No. Yeah, it was at First Baptist. So she's bringing food in. I was like, oh, hey, you go to Redeemer? She's like, no, do you? I was like, not yet. That's my first time.
Yeah.
Right. So Lindsay had kind of, put the call out like, hey, I need you guys. You're my people, whether you go to the same church or not, right? Like,
That's right.
we're all part of the church.
Right.
And so,
We're all in it together.
yeah. And so I'm pretty sure that they, like Heather's family was going to the Crossing at the time. We had been going to Forum. Lindsay had been on the team that started Redeemer. We were meeting at First Baptist, right? But it's like, it's God's people, right? We're the church. And so we just all kind of met together and did the thing because it was the thing that needed to be done, right? You do the next right thing, get all frozen on you, like just do the next right thing. And so after that Saturday, right? Like we decided, okay, let's check it out on Sunday. So we checked it out Sunday. We have hardly missed a Sunday since. Like it was incredible. And I met Gina, the pastor's wife, that day, but I did not meet Pastor Cole. The next week, still didn't meet Cole. The next week, went into labor. So we had been there for a couple of weeks. Maybe it wasn't the third week. It was a couple of weeks later, right? We'd been there for a little bit. And so I knew a lot of the people, but I had not met the pastor yet. And so Emma is a senior in high school by this point. Gracie is not quite 2. She's 1.5. And so Emma stayed home with Gracie while Ben and I went to the hospital to have Finley. We're there. Finley's born, all the things. Ben leaves the hospital to go check on the girls at home, right? And so I'm there. It's just me and Finn, all good. And then there's a knock on the door. And this big dude comes in, and he's got his phone, and he's looking at the phone, and he's looking at me. It was Cole. He had looked at my Facebook profile because we had never met. He's like, I want to make sure I'm in the right room. So he's trying to find out what I look like. Right? So he's checking Facebook to see what I look like to make sure he's in the right spot. So that was when I met Cole. And, he and his wife, their family, they're some of our best friends now.
Amazing.
It's fantastic. But he prayed for Finley that day. And last week, Finley was baptized at church.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And so Cole was there again, and it was just so neat to see, like this is the man who was present, like right after you were born, right? He prayed for you right after you were born. And now it's because of this church, because they were obedient, and because we listened to the prompting of the Holy Spirit. And, we've got our girls in church, and our older kids are in church, and they're hearing the truth all of the time. He was there to witness her being, born again. And so it's awesome. So cool, so awesome. And the children's pastors there, Mike and Mandy, they're
amazing.
They are amazing.
I went
and
there for a while. They're amazing.
Yes, I love them so much, and they are such a big part of our girls' lives as well. And so to have them there, it was so special. Yeah. And I know I went off on who knows what, but I really love the church. And it's where God has called me and my family.
That's
right. Amen.
But it's not the only church, right? Like, I love that there are so many different churches represented by so many great Christian people in our community.
Especially around this area. I feel like the churches around this area are so quick to work together.
I love it.
And like the communities of the church are so quick to work together. Like Pastor Vic, whenever I worked at Family Life Fellowship, he would consistently be in contact with the other pastors around the area, just trying to figure out what they could do, like how they could help X, Y, and Z. Like amazing communities.
Right. There's no reason for churches to be in competition.
Yeah.
Right? Like
exactly.
Fill in the gaps. How can we help each other out? What can we do to make this better? How can we support you? How can you support us?
We all have the same mission.
We're reaching the people for Jesus, not for XYZ Church.
That's right.
So
It's a vertical relationship.
Yeah. And I love that, we can all sit in the same room, not going to the same church, and still we serve the same Jesus.
We need to do like one big worship thing one day.
That'd be great.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, because if you've heard the statistics of people that don't go to church in this town, in this community, even with
one on every corner.
With one on every corner, with great pastors, and all of them is pretty crazy.
You don't have
It
to be
is.
scared to just pick one. Just go to some
Yeah,
and see
just
what you
go.
have.
Yeah,
go.
Pastor
That's
Cole
right.
is a rock star. I like
I agree.
Pastor Cole. Miss
And I
CH
sit
is
up front.
Awesome.
So there's always chairs by me, and you sit up front. I'm sure there's always
second
empty
row.
chairs,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like-
I got my
like-
spot.
I'm a front row church.
I'm in the
sitter.
very back
Same.
right corner.
I wasn't always though.
Right. Yeah.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
Redeemer's
pick a
great
church and come
It
sit
is.
by one of us because
Yeah.
we're all there.
Come on.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many different good
Just
churches.
holler at us.
That's right.
We all serve the same purpose and the same Jesus, and
Mm-hmm.
that's
Amen. We're
Is
all
what-
gonna be in the same place one day.
Right.
100%.
Might as well
Oh,
start
yeah.
now.
yeah. And that's kind of what brought us even to today, is that I wanted to hear your story. I wanted to hear. I didn't know you and Jesus went back that far.
Me
So
neither.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. 6, 7.
6, 7. That's right.
Yeah, we've got to bring the 2000s. We've been in the 1900s for a little
Right,
while.
right.
Right. We gotta
Bring
bring
it
out the
current.
modern.
And also, what an amazing stepping stone for these youth that are coming through with foster youth and stuff. Like, what an amazing
Mm-hmm.
stepping stone to come meet little Miss Andie Jamerson.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Because
why
you
you're
might be
so
the
strong.
seed. You might be the
That's
seed that's
right.
planted.
That's right.
I'm down with that.
Have you felt that seed being planted? Have you seen it sprout? Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you got great stories about that.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's so many, and a lot of them I can't share because
Right.
they're not my stories
That's
to
right.
share,
Right.
right? Like talking about other people is very easy, but talking about other people with dignity and sharing their stories from their point of view is impossible.
Right.
That's right.
And so, especially when foster care is involved, right? I don't want to share their stories.
Right.
I will definitely share the success stories of Faith Bridge, right?
Yeah.
And like how we've reached, my goodness, in the past year since being open in our new location, in 2025, we served over 2,600 children. That's awesome.
Amen.
It's awesome, but it's also heartbreaking, right? Like there are that
a
many
lot.
kids.
That doesn't matter, kids.
But if Faith Bridge goes away, that number doesn't change,
That's
right?
right.
There's still that many kids in foster care or in kinship care or in the state's care, in different homes or whatever. Those kids are still going to be there. And so I think it's our job, it's our calling to reach them where we can. So, God or Jesus himself says, the widows and orphans, like that's who's closest to my heart. That's who I need you to reach. I need you to reach out to the widows and orphans. And yeah, most of them have parents, but they are situational orphans. They don't have their mom and their dad right now taking care of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're called to step up and do that.
That
And-
just clicked in my brain, though. That part. Sorry, you just explained that to me. Sorry.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
The not having a parent thing that just clicked. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people get tripped up there. Like, well, they're not orphans. They have parents. They do.
Right.
Right.
But
Right.
they cannot care for them in the way that they should
That's
right
correct.
now. And so
There's a difference.
there is, yeah. So they are situationally orphaned for the moment, right? And so we are called to step in and take care of them, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah. And so, and that's part of why we're called Faith Bridge, right? Like we want to be the bridge, that facilitates what people have and the people who need and get those things, right? Like we bridge that. I have this, I need this.
Right.
Let's make that happen. But also we want to bridge people's faith, right? Like if God is calling you to reach widows and orphans, that's what he's called you to do.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
that's what
there's a
you're supposed to
period
do.
there, right?
Yeah.
Like do that.
Yeah.
Do that thing.
And so we want to give people the opportunity to put that faith that they claim that they have into action. We want to bridge that I have this faith into I'm acting out this faith. And so giving people an opportunity to come and to help out or to
Yep.
reach these individuals. It doesn't have to be serving at Faith Bridge, right? Like we would be happy to have you there as a volunteer, but it's not about us.
Right.
It's about reaching these children. And so what can you do to maybe hang out with a teenager and share Jesus or even share how to balance a checkbook. Remember, I'm from the 1900s. How to reconcile your bank account, right? How to not borrow all the funds that you can from your Cash App and your Venmo and your this and that, and live kind of
good.
within the means that you have, or to dress appropriately, or to have a job, or to just all the different things that kids maybe in their teen years in foster care or aging out of foster care, they don't have anybody in their life to be like, hey, maybe that's not the best choice for you right now. So to even bring that mentor type relationship, it doesn't have to be teaching them anything. It could be hanging out and just being somebody that they can
Guidance.
call, right? Or they can, they can text a meme to that makes them laugh. Like
Right.
anything, just somebody to be on the other end of that, because they're on their phones all day long. Who's on the other end of that? Right? Like that's a huge dark question mark is who's on the other end of that.
Which could very much determine an outcome of a situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if I'm on the other end of that and my phone rings at 2 a.m. and it's some girl who's like, hey, I was just scrolling through, I thought about you because this made me laugh, right? Like that's big. So even just people willing to say, hey, I'll hang out, I'll do whatever. And to form those relationships, that's what it's all about, is the relationships and moving them towards a relationship with Jesus, which will, better their life 100%.
Absolutely.
But they're not going to get there until they know that you care about them. They see that you care about them. They see evidence and fruit in your life. Because if I'm just complaining all day long about how crappy things are, and then I'm like, oh, by the way, Jesus loves you, they're like, okay, sure, I can't wait to be as awesome as you are, right? Like, we've got to live it and show it in order to share it.
Yeah.
And it takes an army.
It does.
Oh, goodness, yes.
Because we just think,
army.
that, you have clothes and you give those things out and do stuff like that. We don't think about the mentor side. We don't think about what they're going through.
Yeah.
Your shirts even match today.
Yeah, they
Should have worn my Faith Bridge shirt today.
Man, I think you said that last time I was here,
I
Bobby.
need to get one. I need to get one.
he
for
did
the
too.
benefit.
Maybe I thought she was going to stand me up again. So I'll just use
No,
that.
not 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, it's terrible of me.
So,
Well, we're glad to have the little visitor, blonde-haired visitor. Did you get baptized?
So good. Wow. So
That's so
exciting.
awesome. That's so
Congratulations.
awesome.
Was the water cold? No.
it was so warm.
That's good. Well, congratulations.
Awesome.
Getting baptized. That's really cool.
It is really cool.
It's a big step.
That's a big step.
It was her and 3 of her friends. They all were baptized together.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they're all Citadel students. I know you briefly mentioned
I did,
Citadel.
yeah.
So it's the newest Christian school here in town. It's K through 5 right
very
now.
cool.
Finley was part of the inaugural class last year. There were 12 students last year. She was the only first grader.
That's awesome.
14 students. I'm so sorry. 14 students, and she was the only first grader. Enrollment has more than doubled for next
That's
year,
awesome.
which is
Exciting.
great.
Gosh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's
super
gonna
That
be.
is
It's
so
gonna be
awesome.
good. It's gonna be.
If you guys
fun.
want anyone to come play some songs, you just let me know. I'll come.
Yes.
I would love to, actually.
Okay.
Some worship songs or something, and we can.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah,
just
they
signed
have.
yourself up.
I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm coming.
Yeah. I know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get you in touch with Miss Lisa, and it'll be all
so
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
thing. I love that. That
Yeah.
school's cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
That's really cool. Do you girls have anything else you want to?
No, just that I admire all of the hard work and dedication that you put in, and I truly do look
Well,
up to you
thank
for
you.
that.
I
Truly.
appreciate that. Thank
As
you
a
so much.
23-year-old, I want to live my life the way that you have, and I know that I can do that through Jesus.
Oh,
and that's-
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
awesome.
saying yes. There's
Yeah.
nothing special about me.
Yeah.
All I do is say yes.
Just saying yes. Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Literally, just say yes.
Madison?
Did you want to mention the benefit? I know it's kind of far off.
Yeah. So we do our big fundraiser once a year. It's the Low Country Boil. It is our only fundraiser. And what we do is we raise the money for operating expenses for the following year. So it'll be September 26th at the auditorium this year. It is fantastic. So
It is.
Zydeco's comes out and they cook
I
up.
love Zen.
They cook up
So
an
fun.
all
So
you
fun.
can eat. Okay, it is all you can eat. They do shrimp and boudin. They've done gator bites the last couple of years. It's so good. So jambalaya, like all the things, right?
It is good.
I'll be
Super
there.
yummy. We've got a craft lemonade bar. So they sit there and they mash up all the fresh, fruits
They do.
or jalapenos or whatever you want in there, and it's so good. We've got live music. Somebody super special.
I'll be
has-
there. Yeah. My third year.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me do
Shouting
it.
out that benefit.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
love
I'm
it.
so
That's
glad
great.
I know
that
it's
Madison is
so
there.
fun.
It is. It is great. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good time.
It is.
And also, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday, June 20th, is our birthday party. So we have been around for 5 years, which has gone by so fast, hasn't it?
That's awesome.
This little turkey has grown up there.
You sure got us some headphones and a microphone.
Yeah,
Right.
But we're going to have a birthday party from 2 to 4 on Saturday, the 20th at the auditorium. It's free. Everybody come. It'll be a good time. We're going to have like, I don't know, 20 tables, 30 tables. I don't know how many we can hold, but we'll have a different birthday theme at every table.
That's so cool.
We'll have cakes and ice cream. We'll have live music, and every kid that comes is going to get to take home a birthday present, right? Like, it's our birthday, they get the presents.
That's so
We don't need
cool.
any presents.
That's
Let's give them
so
all
cool.
out.
Right,
So
give them away. Give
That's
them
right.
away.
That is
So
cool.
everybody come. It'll be super fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I appreciate you. You know that. And
Back
appreciate
at
all
ya.
you do
Back at you.
and all your hard work. And I support anytime I can. And if I can more in the future, you know how to get a hold of me. So all the things that you do, I can't do what you do. So that's why it takes an army, because it's,
I can't do what you do.
that's
My
it.
friends
We-
are so cool.
Yeah. we just-
Yeah, they are.
and I can't sing, and I can't obviously run a podcast. So I mean, just
No, it takes us all.
It does. Like
Yeah.
we have a place.
That's
God
so
puts
neat.
us in there. He gives us our talents. He
does.
tells us. He points us in the direction. We got to listen. We got to say
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And he's pointed us all in a direction, especially you, and that's why we have you on here and to tell your story. It's super cool because there's things there I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really cool.
You know, all
too.
the talents that God gives us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are his gifts to us. The way that we use those, that's our gift back to him,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he gives us these
Madison.
gifts freely. Bye, Madison. Love you guys. Love you back. You're good. So he gives us these free gifts, but not just for us to hoard,
Right.
right? Like, we can't just take our gifts and stick them in a closet behind us and never look at them again.
That's
like,
right.
Yeah.
we open them and then we use them for other people, and that's our gift back to him. So
That's right.
I am thankful to be in a room and in a community of people who not only have these giftings, but use them.
Use them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
That's the ticket to it. So that's what this is. The podcast, all the things I do is just a big ministry. So it's just finding the one. It's just
Yeah.
helping people out. I don't ever want anything monetarily from it. Nothing ever.
Yeah.
I don't. I just enjoy having conversations and helping people out.
Yeah, for sure.
So trying to pad my way to the man upstairs. You know,
right.
doing my job. No, I'm just
I don't
kidding.
think it works that way,
I
buddy.
know. It doesn't hurt. But yeah. But either way, I appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate you
And
having
Gia, I
me.
appreciate you linking this
Doing
all
the
together
thing.
for us, doing the thing.
That's right.
And
That's right.
we appreciate you making a surprise visit.
Yeah, Finley Roo.
All right. Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. And next time, Robert the Realist out.